I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Are you guys able to see it? Am I audible? Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Okay, cool. So I'm going to start with today's workshop about C# and Azure Cloud. So before I start, I just wanted to do like a quick introduction with everyone. So we kind of get to know each other and we get to know like who you guys are, where you guys like, what your backgrounds are, and things like that. So I can go first and I can talk a little bit about myself. So as I said, I'm Ruby. I did my bachelor's in computer science from UW, so the University of Washington. And then I'm currently doing my MBA with a focus in technology. And then my work history, I've worked at Groupon as a software engineer, and then I'm currently at T-Mobile. And then a fun fact about me is I can speak 4 languages fluently. So I guess we can just do like a round table or a round robin, and then you can tell me like your name, or like where you went to school, where you currently work, maybe what's your reason for attending today's workshop, and then a fun fact about yourself, just so we can get to know each other a little bit better. So I'm gonna pull up the participants list so I know what your guys' names are. So we can start with Nita. Did I say that right?
Hello, my name is Neda Taghiparast. I have a Bachelor of Computer Science. I got the job on cloud computing with Farhad. And I just want to be in this workshop and see how is the C#. And that's it, yeah.
Cool. Let's go to Brian.
Hi, my name is Brian. I currently work as a nurse. I took a coding boot camp and learned some C#, but it went a little over my head, so I was hoping to learn a little bit more about it.
Cool. Let's go to Eric. Eric, do you want to share a little bit about yourself? I don't think we can hear you, Eric. I see you're on like unmute, but I don't think we can hear you. Okay, we'll come back to Eric. Let's go to Janine.
Hi, I'm Janine. My background is bioinformatics, actually at the PhD level. But I, wanted to come here today to learn more about this program and also how to work Azure. Fun fact about myself is that, like the host, the presenter today, I also speak languages, but yeah, English, Chinese, English, Chinese, and Spanish. Chinese, not Chinese, but I speak it because I lived there for so long.
Cool. Let's go to Jasmine. Jasmine, can you hear us? Okay, let's go to Sherwin.
Hey, yeah, I'm just joined, so a little bit late.
No worries. We're
Here
just
to
saying
find out
things
more about.
yeah.
I mean, I've do system engineering background, so I know more on that side. So just seeing how the C# is and what else there is to how languages changed, and just want to learn a bit. Fun fact. Let's see. Been to like 40 something countries, I guess. Love traveling.
Oh, wow.
This year is a little different.
Well, let's go to Spencer.
I believe Spencer said his mic is not working, so he won't be able to.
Okay, no worries. Let's go to Manjula.
Yeah, my name is Manjula. I'm not working here. Just I'm interested.
Cool. Okay, so now that we know a little bit about each other, that's great. I know a little bit more about you guys. Let's continue with what is C# and why we should learn it. What's important about it. So why learn C#? So C# is the most versatile programming languages. You can build window client applications and you can build web and mobile apps. And right now, these two types of applications are really popular in every single type of tech field and tech job that there is. I even know, like at my job currently, we are looking to hire so many C# developers just because we need so many mobile app developers. Since everything is on your phone now, everyone wants to create apps and everyone wants to make, the best app possible and always try to add more features to it. So the job market for mobile app developers and window client applications is just such in demand. So there's a huge demand in the job market for that right now, and it's only growing. So why is it important? C# is highly versatile. So like I said, you can build apps, but it's not only limited to mobile apps. You can build a lot of cloud-based services, enterprise software, and games. And C# is really heavy in the game development industry. Unity is one of the biggest game development applications there is, and C# is widely used to develop games with Unity. So most of the games that you know of, they were most likely scripted using C#. Another thing is that being fluent in C#, so C# is very similar to C++ and Java. So if you learn C#, it's going to make learning the other languages super simple. And also C# is really simple to digest. Compared to languages like Java and C++, C# is a high-level language. So that means it's similar to English in the sense that if you've never programmed before, C# is pretty easy to pick up. And once you pick up C#, you'll be able to easily pick up the other languages. So it just makes you an overall well-rounded developer. The job statistics. So for developers in general, there are over 100,000 job openings, and C# is a qualification that 90% of those openings want. Most hiring managers always look to see if C# is on a resume because right now C# is such in demand. But the reason that there's such a demand with this, even though there's so many openings, is because there are not enough qualified people. There's not enough people who know C# to finish the job or to finish the task. Okay. The projected growth. So in 2021, developers are needed more than ever, and the number just keeps on growing. There's actually a 22% growth rate from 2019 to 2029. And the salary is pretty generous for a developer, a C# developer. The base pay is 80K, and then it just goes up from there. Okay. The skills combo. So what do you need in order to be a C# developer? So you need to know a little bit of math. You need to have problem solving skills. So C# development is a lot about breaking things apart, solving things into small tasks, looking at things at a surface level and then becoming detail oriented with specific tasks. You need to have organizational and time management skills. Things are due on a timely basis and other people are dependent on your work. So if you're not able to get things in on time, then you're not going to be able to complete the task. You need to have accuracy and attention to detail. So development is really nitpicky and it's really detail oriented. So you need to be very observant and you need to have a lot of attention to detail. You need to understand the latest trends in a commercial work environment. So every company is different. Every team is different. Everyone has their own sort of way they like to write their code. They like to structure their code. So you need to be able to adapt to how other people tend to write their code and understand how they run things in their team. Teamwork skills. So development, there's a lot of individual work, but there's a lot of collaboration as well. You're working on a team to create a bigger project, and you have a part of that project. So you need to be able to work well with people. You need to be able to communicate well with people, and you need to be able to work in a team well. Self-development skills. So always keeping up with the latest trends. Development is a field where no one is going to hold your hand. People will obviously support you. They'll give you the training. They'll give you the resources. But you need to be self-motivated and be able to say, hey, I tried doing it this way, but it's not working out. I need some help. How do I fix this bug? How do I fix this error? Okay. So what do we cover in the C# course? So here at Skillspire, we will cover from basically the very basics of programming up until proficient level programming. So we'll cover object-oriented programming, we'll dive deep into C#, we'll cover test-driven development, so we'll do a little bit of SDET work. We'll cover cloud computing in Azure, and then how to confidently interview for technical software development roles, how to boost your career by using Azure and manage your store your app data, and then we'll also do professional development and mentoring. Okay. So you don't need to have a background in coding to join the C# course. We'll start at the very beginning of what is programming and the very basics, and then if you do already have a background in coding, then we'll go into we'll dive a little bit deeper into C#, and then we'll talk about different types of logic in C#, how to test different things in C#, and just go further into that. Boot camp versus college. So what's the difference here? So if you were to do a traditional 4-year degree versus a boot camp, the average start age for a 4-year degree would usually be 18 years old. The average start age for a coding boot camp is 30 years old. The time spent is 4 years, and for a coding boot camp, it would be 3 months to a year. The average price tag for a computer science degree at a university or college would be about $140K. For a coding bootcamp, it's a lot less. It's about $12K. Total graduates, it's about half of what the 4-year degree is. Most people that go to university have high school education prior to that, and then with the coding bootcamp, you'll find more students that have a degree in some other field, an undergraduate degree in some other field, or an undergraduate degree in the related field. And then within each degree, both people end up getting jobs. Both people end up starting about the same. It just depends on how well you know the knowledge of the concept. Okay. Another thing with bootcamp versus college is how the classes are set up. So with the bootcamp, it's a lot more accelerated. It goes a lot more faster since it's a lot less time. Whereas in a university or a college, it'll go a lot more slower, and you'll have a lot less study time. Whereas in a boot camp, it's a lot more study time. We say that for a boot camp, at least with Skillspire, it's about 5 to 7 hours a week that you have to take out and study on your own, along with 6 hours of class each week. Okay. And then with the boot camp, there's smaller classes. And there's a lot more career support, whereas in a university or college, you have larger classes with a lot more people, and you have larger classes in a lot more people, and then you don't really have as much career support. Okay. In a boot camp, it's a lot more practical, so you work in teams a lot, especially in the class I teach. The way the structure goes is I will lecture. So the way the class will go is the first thing I do is we'll start off with the previous week, and we'll do like a round robin and say what what did we learn last week? What questions did you guys have after you guys had a week of studying for that previous class? What are you guys still confused about? And then we'll go on to do the lecture. After the lecture, I'll do a live walkthrough of whatever was taught in the lecture, and then I'll give a little bit of practice time. I'll give you guys a task, and I'll give you guys a little bit of practice time to do it on your own. And if you have any questions during that time, it gives you a chance to try it on your own and ask me any questions. And then once we do that, I like to share out what everyone did. So you'll just share your screen and show what you did or what you were confused on. And then after that, we'll do a little bit of more lecturing. And then we'll have a worksheet. So that just kind of solidifies what you know and what you don't know. We'll share the worksheet out so that you guys can hear from other people and how other people present and how other people what questions they had. And then at the end we'll have like a small group project, so that will give you a chance to collaborate with your peers. So it's more on it's definitely hands-on learning, and it's more of a practical base. That's kind of how you would work in a team, like at a company, is you would work with other people, you work with your peers, your coworkers. There'll be a larger project, everyone will be given a smaller task to complete. Whereas in a university and college, it's more of like they lecture and they give you homework and then there's an exam. So yeah. So any questions so far about anything? Okay. If there's no questions, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, Spencer. Spencer said his question. He's checking the chat. Spencer, feel free to type your question. I can articulate it.
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so this question was I noticed that you stated based upon I guess the area I guess in Washington there I guess C# is high in demand. However, I reside in Atlanta, Georgia, and I see that Java is a little more it looks like more demand for that job versus C#. So I was trying to figure out the differences because I know the school offers no Java and C#. So I was trying to figure out, in your opinion, if you guys kind of know that, would it be smarter to go that route, the Java versus C#, or come back to learn C#, or like just trying to give you guys an idea of just the job market out where I'm at versus, I guess, Seattle, Washington.
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question? So there's in Atlanta, you're saying there's a job
Yeah.
market for Java and C#, and then here in Seattle, there's a job market for C#. Is that what you were saying?
No, but really what I was saying was I know you were saying the trajectory and just the job market, in the area that you're at. I was saying out here is C# as well, but it seemed like more Java based jobs, like with doing research. So I was saying with someone like myself, based upon, obviously you go through the course and you want to get placed in a job, what would you guys prefer to go in the route of Java based upon my geographical area, or you would say you still be either or would still work? Because like I said, it's more Java based out here from my experience of researching the job market.
I would say it really depends on what job you're going for. Here at least in Washington, I know that we're really big on C#. Like currently especially, we're really big on C# right now in Azure. I can't speak for Atlanta, but I know that right now, majority of companies, all of the job listings that I've seen currently, and even the ones that we've put out, they've listed C# as a requirement, or like something that they really want. And I know like from personal experience of like hiring at T-Mobile, we've always like the first question that we've always asked is like, oh, do you know C#? And we've always tested like with technical interviews, we've always preferred like the person knows C# instead of like any other language. Obviously if you know another language, that's good as well. And we've definitely hired people that know other languages, but C# would definitely be preferred. That's
Gotcha.
that's what I can speak to.
Okay, I appreciate the answer. Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to actually pitch in. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So who was that asked the question?
That was Spencer.
Spencer. Hi, Spencer. I know we talked yesterday. And in fact, I met with a person who works at Microsoft, and she's been there for like 20 plus years. And we were having a conversation. And she was actually mentioning how many jobs for C Sharp, and Microsoft has opened up a huge, center in Atlanta, and they're hiring big time in Atlanta. I mean, so I was thinking about you, and she mentioned that to me last night. So I just wanted to add that. So I think if you look around right now, I think the Microsoft itself has opened a huge center there, and they are, in fact, Atlanta was the first place that they started the digital skilling, initiative that Microsoft just, announced about a year ago. So it is huge there. So, I wouldn't, debate too much about whether I should take. I think C Sharp is definitely in demand in Georgia. So just wanted to chime in there.
Okay. So Spencer says thank you. I appreciate it. So if anyone else has any questions, feel free to chime in. If you haven't already entered your email into the chat feed, feel free as well.
Ruby, can you go into a little more as to what is covered in the course? What sort of jobs can they apply for, and a little more detail into the course? That would be great.
Yeah. So in terms of like what jobs you can apply for, definitely you can apply for like any type of developer job or development job. So that goes into like game development. Like I said, C Sharp is heavily based on game development. So any game developer jobs, any mobile application developer jobs, any web development jobs, any type of like client-based developer jobs. Another thing with C Sharp, so like I said, C Sharp is a high level surface language, so it's really easy to pick up. And then once you pick up C Sharp, it's really easy to get yourself into C++ and Java and to understand like what's going on there. So I would even recommend putting yourself out there and maybe just doing like a Java development job, a C++ development job. It's really, there's a lot of job openings and a lot of job options for when you know C Sharp, because it's such a C Sharp is such a generic language that it really, you're able to put yourself out there in a lot of different positions. In terms of like how the class will go, so we start off with the basics of programming. We start off with what is programming. We start off with like going into the basics of programming. So what are methods? How to code in the first place, different types of logic. And then once we go into that, we'll dive deeper into like the heavy parts of coding were like the arrays, the data structures part. We'll spend a few weeks on the Azure cloud base, and then after that, we'll go back to C Sharp and we'll dive a little bit deeper and go into heavier data structures. And then at the end, you'll have within the class, you'll have different types of small assignments and small projects. And then at the end, you'll have one huge C Sharp project, like a functioning C Sharp project, kind of like a capstone project that you can probably put on your resume as a project that you can talk about in interviews to show that, okay, you actually know C Sharp.
How much time outside of class do you expect a student to put in a week?
I would say I would expect about 5 to 7 hours total class time, total outside of class time. So with the homework, with the extra studying, average student would take about 5 to 7 hours.
Okay, so I see a question here from Eric asking, a majority of jobs seem to want a university degree in computer science. Does having an online course having done an online course?
Sorry, you cut out a bit. What was the question?
Oh, sorry. Okay, so Eric is asking, a majority of jobs seem to want a university degree in computer science, and does having done an online course hurt your chances of finding a job?
Okay, so yeah, good question. What I found is that with software development jobs, it's a lot of what you know. So as long as they see that you have the qualifications, that will get you past the resume phase, and that will actually get you talking to a real person at a company. And then it's all up to you for the technical interview. If you have a candidate who has a CS degree, like an undergraduate degree, compared to a person who just did a boot camp, they both will be given the same questions, and at that point it's up to you how well you execute and how well you pass that technical interview. So with software development jobs, I would say it's a lot different. It's a lot more different than traditional jobs where they say, okay, you have this degree, you have this qualification, we'll hire you compared to another person who has something less of that. But in software development, it's more of like who knows the concept, who knows how to get the work done, who can complete the task most efficiently, and that's who we're going to give the job.
Okay, so Eric is following up. He's saying, so is it basically about building projects and then succeeding during the interview?
Yeah, basically it's about how well you know the language and how well you're able to solve the task that they give you in the interview. And that's all based upon how comfortable you are with the language and how well you've practiced the language.
Okay. Okay, does anyone else have any questions? Okay, so Eric is asking, sorry. Okay, so it's a good question. So what type of projects will our Skillspire course teach students how to do?
Yeah, so the projects that we will do in the class on a weekly basis, you guys will have small projects. So just like small tasks that will just practice the concept that was taught for that specific lecture. So if we were teaching for that specific week, if we talked about arrays, you guys will have a project on arrays. And then every probably once a month, we'll have one project, which is going to be a heavier project that talks about what we discussed in the 4 weeks. So that is a project that you can put on your resume. The weekly projects probably you wouldn't want to put on your resume since they're so small, but the monthly project you can definitely put on your resume because there are an actual program. It's a solid program that actually does something significant. And then at the end of the course, you will have one large program that will encompass everything that we've learned, and it will be a fully functioning program that you will definitely want to put on your resume.
So you said that you work for T-Mobile, is that correct?
Yes.
And they're putting out job postings for C# engineers?
Yes.
So do they hire new engineers, or are all of their postings, 2-3 years of experience?
So they hire everyone from new grads or like brand new people, brand new developers, all the way up to senior engineers. Right now we have a really big opening. I know the T-Mobile Tuesdays application, if you guys are familiar with that application, the mobile app for T-Mobile Tuesdays, their team is really looking to hire developers, because they want to do something different or something, they want to change up the T-Mobile Tuesdays application. So I know their team is really big on C# developers, and then across the company in different teams, we have C# developers hiring from like brand new people to senior engineers.
One more thing that I wanted to add, we've had questions about people asking about internships after the course is done. So we have had, in fact, once full stack web development or any other course, Java, we've been working on internal internships. So we take a huge project, create a team of people who are interested in joining the internship, them up, and kind of, uh, this could be anywhere from 1 month to 3 months. And, students who have done this internship with us find it very useful to kind of, put everything together. Um, can you hear me?
Yes, it's a bit choppy, but yes.
Okay. So, so I was just talking about the internship part even after the course is over, that we have been doing, and it has been very successful. And the other part that I do want to add is, we have partnerships with companies now, consulting companies and recruitment companies, where if you would like, we can definitely share your resume, but then of course you need to have a solid resume and showcase.
So Janine is asking a good question.
We can absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we can absolutely, that's part of our job search support. Of course, we cannot give you 100% guarantee for a job, but this is something that we've introduced since past about 4 months now, and so actively helping our students even after the course is over to help them find that first job.
So Janine is asking a good question.
Unmute yourself. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions.
So Janine is asking about, I think it's a good question for Yasmin, the cost of the course. So do you want to go over the cost and then also some of the structures as far as payment plans that we have?
Yeah, the cost of the course, if you were to do a one-time fee, is $49.99, which is $5,000. But if that's too much, then we do offer monthly payment plan where it is $5,500, but it would be paid over 5 months, $1,100 per month.
And then we also have the scholarships for Washington residents, correct?
Well, I don't think everyone's eligible for the Washington scholarship. If you are maybe unemployed and eligible for some unemployment benefits, we could try for scholarship, but scholarship funding these are federal and state funding, so there's no guarantee that you would get it. And the paperwork, of course, for these things are huge, and it definitely takes over a month.
Okay. I would like to add that if you are a veteran, if anyone here happens to be a veteran, we are approved to accept GI Bill benefits. So, okay, so Eric is asking a good question. Eric and John, What is the percentage? So Spencer is a veteran. Okay, awesome. So Eric and John are asking, what is the percentage of graduates who are currently working in full-time jobs?
Is that a question like the
About 6
percentage of
months ago
skill?
when we did our data, Skillspire students, I would say it's over 60%.
Sorry, can you repeat that number? I think you cut off a little bit.
Yeah, it's about, I would say about 6 months ago when we did the data, it was over between 60 to 70%. And sometimes, you know, what happens is students come in, take a course. Now they're really interested. They go on to, you know, taking more courses or, you know, focusing on one particular area. Sometimes they're not ready for a job. And so they keep studying till they are confident. And, you know, but every student is different. And that's one of the reasons for that, you know, 60 to 70% and not 100% or 90%. So every student, you know, we've had students who come take our course and then go, you know, they love it that they they kind of go on to taking university degree jobs, which I don't think is really needed. But you know, they figure it's like, hey, you know, I think I need that broad knowledge, and so they go do that as well. So it just varies. It just depends, you know, on the student.
Okay. And I think I just wanted to add something to that. I think Yasmin would agree with this, but I think it also depends a lot on how much initiative you take. So, you know, like Ruby will definitely give you all the tools that you need to succeed, and you can ask your questions and interact with your classmates as well. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it will come down to how much work you put in to mastering the material and how much work you put in outside the class as well. Because it's not going to be easy. You know, we don't want to set you up for false expectations. It's certainly not easy, otherwise everyone would do it. It's going to be tough, but as long as you stay persistent and keep grinding it out, you know, and then also work really hard during the course and afterwards to kind of fine tune your resume and your LinkedIn and prepare for the technical interviews, you should be on the right track.
Ruby, you want to talk about the certification that students can actually go on and take with Microsoft after the course is done?
Yeah. So at the end of the course, we'll have all of the training and the resources that you need. You will have all of the training and the resources that you need in order to take the Microsoft C Sharp certificate. And this certificate, I would definitely recommend you take it because it is definitely going to be putting you it's going to make you unique from the other candidates that you're applying with because you do have a certification. And this goes for even if when you're competing with candidates that have a 4-year degree from a university. Because the certification is more, it sort of tells the hiring manager that this person, not only do they say they know their stuff, but they actually proved with a certification that they know what they're doing, and they know the stuff. So definitely I would recommend that you follow up with the certification, but we do offer a certification at the end of the C Sharp course. And you will have, you like at the end of the course, you will know the material needed in order to pass the course, the certification.
You know, just to add on to that, this is the Microsoft certification, and I believe they also offer an Azure cloud certification, which is I don't know the number off the top of my head, the exam, but I think it's about $150 for the certificate, and you know, so I think the course covers the fundamentals of Azure, that lets you take this certification at the end of the course. So that's the end. We are a Microsoft partner as well, and so we can help coordinate these certifications for you with Microsoft if needed. Any other questions? The last time we did this workshop, I think there was one feedback that it went too fast. So, we're available here. Ruby, who's the instructor, is available to answer any questions you may have. So please feel free to ask any and all questions.
Okay, so here's a really good question, and this pertains to veterans specifically. Is there a difference in tuition for veterans?
No, it's the same fee, but for veterans, through the GI Bill benefits, it is covered completely. Unless, of course, depending on your service level, some people have had to pay maybe 10% out of pocket, but most of the time it is covered. We do accept PRNE as well as Chapter 31 and 33. The process is actually very simple. So you go on to the VA website and download your COE, which is the Certificate of Eligibility, and send it over to us, and that's all that's needed. And then we go ahead and process it for you, and submit, and then you're good to go. It's pretty straightforward, and we've had several veterans actually. One of the things that I've seen with the vets are, they sometimes are not sure as to what they say that okay, I want to get into data analytics, so they are very keen on trying to maybe get into one or more courses. And I think being our courses affordable, they're able to do that with their training benefits. I mean, maybe 5,000 and another 3,000 or whatever, so they're able to try out different courses and see which is their best choice, and then go from there. Okay,
Yeah, and so Spencer, actually, I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents into that. Not really pertaining to the fee difference or the GI Bill specifically, but more about veterans in particular. So we do actually have one of our mentors. He used to be an instructor. Now he's one of our mentors. He works for Microsoft. His name is Thomas, and he works for Microsoft now. And we were actually speaking with him recently about the unique skill sets and qualities that a lot of veterans have, and how they have a lot of really cool characteristics that really kind of help them persevere and push through the course. And we've also found that veterans from experience, they happen to be some of our best students because they have these qualities of persistence and dedication. And so yeah, I wanted to throw that as well. Okay. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. So Ruby, actually, I do have one question that I'll ask on kind of behalf of everyone. So if you were to, if you were to say, um, if you were to give me like the top quality or characteristic that a potential student would need to succeed in the program, what would you say that would be?
Great question. So I would say the top qualities that a student would need, especially if they want to be a developer and want to study coding, I would say the first thing that they would want to have is the passion for learning. When I say that, I mean a lot of people that a lot of students that I've had that come into programming, they find that when things get hard, they want to stop or they don't want to keep on persevering. They kind of want to be in their comfort zone and they kind of want to stick to what they know. And that is not the development field. Technology is always changing. And when you join a company and when you join a team, even if you choose to stay in the same company, every single month you're going to have a new project. Every single week, every single month you're going to have a new project. Every 6 months you'll have a new project, and each project will come with a new technology. Sometimes it'll come with a new team, sometimes it'll come with a new application, a new resource, and you're going to need to be able to learn how to use that application, learn how to use that resource. Now you'll get the training and everything, but you're going to be out of your comfort zone because it's going to be something new. It's going to be something you have to put effort in to learn. And if you're not someone who likes to keep on learning new things or who likes to sort of learn new applications, but you're someone who just likes to stick with what they know and do the same thing every day, then I would say the development field is going to be frustrating for you because that's just not the development field. That's just not the software development field. So the first thing I would say is you want to make sure that you like to learn new things and you're comfortable with stepping out of your comfort zone, because things will get hard. It will be frustrating, but if you are someone who likes to persevere, then you'll get through it. And the other thing I wanted to say is, I would say make sure you have the capacity to learn, to spend time and learn the concepts, because it definitely does take time to learn these concepts. And I wouldn't say that they're hard. They just take a little time to get used to, and you need to put in the effort to complete the homework and get your brain wired to understand those concepts. And I know, like, I've had few students who they don't have the capacity, and at that point, if they don't have the time to study, it's just not going to work out for them. And then in addition to that, sort of just general things about like the development field. So being a problem solver, do you like to solve problems? Do you like to break apart tasks into smaller tasks? Do you like to are you a detail oriented person? Do you pay attention to detail? Are you a patient person? With development, with programming, you have to be patient because you're constantly creating something, then there's a bug, there's a defect, then you have to solve it, then you have to go back and then check again, and there's a bug, there's a defect, go back and forth. So are you a patient person? Things like that, I would say, would make a great student and a great person for this field.
Okay, so Spencer is asking, is there a schedule online where it lists dates for the starts of classes for future C# courses, aside from the one that's starting a week from today, and other languages as well, also the lengths in time of the course? Yes, Spencer, there is. I will send a link to the courses page on the chat feed right now, and you can feel free to have a look. I'll send that in right now.
Yeah, Spencer, to answer your question, I think after this one, I believe this one goes on until October. And then once that's over, I think probably give a break of about a month, and then we might offer the course again. I mean, Second one, I'm not sure. I think it's probably be during the fall time.
And that would be like late fall, correct? Like October, like November, around there. Yeah, so Spencer, I just sent a link to the courses page. If you click on any of the courses, the Java course, whatever course it might be, and scroll down, you'll see the list of upcoming start dates on there. Okay. So I see some people joined us a little bit late. If you did, that's completely fine. If you have any questions that you want to ask, feel free to do so. We're in the Q&A section right now. And if there's anything that you want to know about the course or about C# in general, the industry, jobs, salaries, whatever it might be, feel free to ask any questions that you might have.
I do need to drop off. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. You know the number, it's 425 868 8200. Do leave your email address on the chat window if you need more information and you're interested in enrolling in the program. So the first step to enrolling in the course is to submit an application on the website. On our website, skillspire.net, you should see the apply button on the top right-hand corner. And if you have any questions, feel free to, just give us a call. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll be posting a link to the apply page right here on the chat. I posted the number here in case anyone wants to reach out. You can feel free to call or text us. Here's the link to the apply page. I have the courses page on here. I'm also putting my email as well as Yasmin's email here. And you can feel free to ask us questions, whatever you like, and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. If no one else has any questions, that's pretty much all that we have for you guys today. We thank you all for joining us, for taking the time on your Saturday to join us. if you haven't already, feel free to leave your email in the chat. It's only for newsletter purposes. We send informational content and promotional content, so we're not going to spam you, nothing like that. You can feel free to unsubscribe at any point in time. So if you haven't already, feel free to enter your email into the chat feed. And if no one has any questions, you can feel free to leave. If you do have questions, you can feel free to stick around and we'll answer as long as people have questions. If not, then thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great weekend.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, so I see that we still have 2 people here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away. Floor is yours. If not, then the meeting will be ending shortly. And if you don't want to ask here, that's also fine. You can feel free to email me. I put my email in the chat, faze@skillspire.net, or you can email Yasmin as well, yasmin@skillspire.net. I put the courses page, the apply page. If you want any other resources, feel free to let me know and I can post more links if there's something specifically that you're looking for. If not, then thank you for joining us, and hope you all have a great weekend. Complete, did you have any questions?
Yeah, I joined late and I missed a presentation. So is there a way if you can send me the presentation, or can I go through once over it, or?
Yes, so we did record it, so
okay.
I can email to you right after it's completed, yeah.
Sure, that will be perfect. Thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Bye.